Hello darlings, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coralie and today welcome to ranking all of my eyeshadow palette. This is directly inspired by Smoky Glow. I remember she had like a series where she was just ranking every makeup item from a certain category, and I think subsequently maybe getting rid of some because there's like 30 palettes in there and not enough eyes to wear them. We're gonna rank them basically, for the first being the best to the last one being the worst. I'm gonna give y'all like 10-second descriptions and then I have 10 seconds to rank them, and then at the end we're gonna review the ranking and update it if necessary, probably on this desk right here. First palette is gonna be the Artist Couture Ethereal Bloom. This palette looks like this. Can you guys see? This is a beautiful, stunning palette. It doesn't have many options, but this is a great travel palette if you want to add some color. I think this is definitely gonna be in the better half of the lineup. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like. This is a neutral palette with only mattes. This is probably gonna be with the Artist Couture. I mean, right now, would I put it after the Artist Couture? Yes, I'm gonna put it after the Artist Couture. And this is the Beauty Bay Pastels Pressed Pigment Palette. This is gonna go before all of these palettes. Then we have the Bretman X Colourpop Lit Palette right here, and the Bretman Colourpop Wet Palette. Now I have to admit, I can't get rid of these even though this has been like, you know, discontinued, but because of how much I don't use them, I'm gonna first say that I do prefer this one. It's warmer toned, it's more up my alley. This would be an amazing travel palette, by the way. I'm gonna put this one last for now, and I'm gonna put this one right before. There's not gonna be enough place for me to do this. Well, we'll have like a top tier, a middle tier, and like a bottom tier. Next we have the Jackie Aina X Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This right here, this is gonna go in between the Beauty Bay Pastels and the Artist Couture, I think. This is the ABH Riviera palette right here. I don't use this enough. I really don't. Okay. This is gonna go in between the Bretman and the Makeup by Mario. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. Girl, pans were hit, which is really rare for me. Oh my god, my hands are so dirty. Already, it's been what? It's been 8 palettes. My hands are already dirty. What the hell we gonna do now?
What the hell we gonna do now?
I'm gonna put this at the end. This is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. This is what it looks like. This is going at the end. I don't even have to think about it. This is the Natasha Denona Peak eyeshadow palette, I think. This is what this looks like. This is gonna go before the Bretman. This is the Huda Beauty Neon palette. Apparently there was like a lawsuit settled for this palette because it's not technically safe to use on the eyes. It's kind of interesting. I don't know about y'all. I do actually really like this palette, to be honest. It's gonna go kind of in the middle again. This is the e.l.f. Bite-Sized Eyeshadow in the shade Hot Jalapeno. This is what it looks like. This is gonna go kind of at the front. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette. This is what it looks like. Let me just check. This one, I'm gonna put it at the same level as the Mario palette. This is the Huda Beauty Nude palette. I need to use this. This is what the palette looks like. Because I'm kind of rating these on how much I like them and how much I do wear them, actually, because I think that's a really important factor. For some of these palettes, I'm kind of putting them at the same level right now, so that's cool. This is the Quo Beauty eyeshadow palette in Sweet as Honey. This one, I literally never use it. Towards the end. This one has a broken eyeshadow. This is the Hip Dot Cenote palette. Oh my god, let me like hold it in. It's like a bluish kind of, I'm sorry, I can't do more than that. I actually really like the shimmers in this palette, but I don't use it that much. I'm kind of in a crisis.
Cut the cameras.
Then this is the Hip Dot Zion Pressed Pigment palette. I really like this one. This one I like a little bit more than the Cenote here. here. This is the Lunar Beauty Moon Spell. Oh wow, I'm sorry, Lunar Beauty hits when it comes to packaging. This is the Moon Spell palette. This is what it looks like. I really like this palette. It's gonna go somewhere in the front. This is the Makeup Revolution X Tammy Tropical Carnival Shadow Palette. This is what it looks like. I haven't used this one in a while. Okay, this one is gonna go towards the middle. I used to use this more, maybe I should. Okay. This is the e.l.f. X Tiana Major 9 Electric Mood Palette. This is what it looks like. Wow, the shimmers in here. Amazing. I'm sorry, by the way, if I'm really looking at my viewfinder. It's because I'm trying to see if the shadows are showing, especially because now I'm blind. So, let's see here. This is the ColourPop Fade into Hue palette. This is, I believe, their latest rainbow palette. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. I like this. It's not my favorite rainbow palette, but I do like it. This is gonna go towards the front. Oh my god, I'm kind of running out of space. This is the ABH Norvina collection. This is the volume 3 palette. This is what it looks like. It looks really pretty. I'll be honest, I don't use it that often because only the mattes do me well in this palette. This is the Beauty Bay Bright Matte 42 color palette. This is what it looks like right here. These are all mattes. This is gonna go at the front. This is a really good palette for me. I really like it. This is the Morphe. Oh my god, this is actually my P. Louise eyeshadow. I haven't used this. Ever since I depotted it, I like never used it. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna lose my job. This is another Morphe palette I have. This has all ColourPop eyeshadows in it, single shadows. I'm gonna put it like where I put the beauty shadows because I definitely don't use it that much. This is the Be Perfect Carnival Love Tahiti, Carnival 3 Love Tahiti. This is what it looks like. Although this is a recent palette, it's gonna go at the front. This is the Be Perfect Carnival 4 The Antidote. I just did a review on this lately. If you want to go, you can just check out right here. Sorry, I'm trying to get the angle. You can click right here and you'll see the review of this palette. It's really good, but I'm not gonna put it as in front. Still in the top, but closer to the middle. This is the Morphe 35. See? Oh, when I first started doing makeup, this was literally the best colorful eyeshadow palette you could get. Let's be real, I haven't used this in ages. It's gonna go at the end. This is the Morphe 35M Boss Mood palette. This palette right here, I would put it a little bit more at the front, like not at the front, still in like the lower half, but like, girl. Then this is the Morphe X, oh my god, I can't open it, James Charles palette. This palette, regardless of the person behind the palette, this palette is not a bad palette. I would put it like flat out in the center. It's not gonna be my favorite palette, but it's gonna be a palette. This is the Lorac Pro The Artistry book right here. This is gonna go with the Carnival Antidote palette. I tried to make this speed round because I tend to ramble a lot about palettes. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna separate my palettes in 3 categories and then we're gonna go through the categories. So we're gonna have the best, we're gonna have kind of the average, and the I should not be keeping this. From the I should not be keeping this pile, we will get rid of some things, but we won't get rid of all. And I've discussed my sentimental issues with makeup before, so you know, don't be rude. I don't know why everything's crooked. I'm not responsible for this anymore. I have my elite tier in front of me. I have my medium tier laid out in order because I think that's important. And I have my dud tier, the bad one, the one we don't like. Let's start with her. Basically, any Morphe palette except for one is in there. The Bretman palettes, these, it's just I don't use them. I genuinely do not use these palettes. I really should get rid of them, god damn it. Okay, I think I'm not gonna get rid of that one, but I am. That's the only silver I own. I have to keep it. Is this the only silver I own? Let's check. I am not gonna keep this Hip Dot palette. I am gonna keep the Bretman palettes. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. This Quo palette I don't use. I'm also gonna get rid of this one. I've explained why I can get rid of this one, so she's staying. I also can't get rid of Riviera because it has my favorite white eyeshadow ever. I also can't get rid of Modern Renaissance because Modern Renaissance is actually my life and soul. It was the first expensive palette I ever bought. No, it was the second. Never mind. So I'm keeping her. Haha. This, I'm not keeping this. This can go. I don't know about this. Let's keep it for now because I don't know if I ever want it again. These are ColourPop shadows. I'm gonna keep them. This James Charles palette, this one is gonna have to go. I don't use it anymore. And I'm gonna be honest, there's some shades in there that I've never used, especially in the top half of this palette. I've mainly used these ones. And so I think her time has come. I think we're gonna get rid of her and it's fine. It's her time. And I mean, the person behind it is kind of problematic anyways. So this is my like mid-range palettes that I do use every now and then, but that aren't necessarily my favorites. Huda Beauty Neon is gonna be the first, so it's from the best to the least best. We have Artist Couture Ethereal Bloom Following. This is not the best palette, but let's say I were to travel, I would probably take the lip palette and this one. It would be colorful and at the same time I would have my neutrals. Then we have Fade Into Hue. She's nice, but she's not the best colorful palette I own. We have this little elf moment. She's very cute. This other elf moment, they have very similar formulas, so I just decided to put them both together. I need to use this one more. Temi X Revolution. I don't use this enough, but I'm gonna keep it. This is one of the few collaborations with Black creators from the drugstore, so I'm gonna keep that one, and I actually do like it. This is the Huda Beauty New Nude. I don't want to get rid of this, but I haven't used it in a while, so I'm gonna try to use it some more. If by my next declutter I haven't used it, we're getting rid of it.
Lies, honey!
This is the Too Faced Peachy Matte. Ooh, I never use this. I deadass never use this. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of it. I feel like we're making progress. We're becoming better at this. This is the Hip Dot Zion palette. I actually really like the layout of this palette, so I'm gonna keep it. This shade is so pretty. It's like the perfect rose gold. You can't really see it on camera, but oh god, is it excellent. It's like the best thing ever. So I'm gonna keep that one. Can't get rid of this one. It was like $80, so I'm keeping it. This Natasha Denona, I'm gonna keep it for like traveling purposes, but I honestly might end up giving it to a friend because I don't use it really. And you know what? I was gonna keep this Morphe palette, but I'm just gonna, it's like pretty similar to the Antidote palette, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one. So these were all my like mid-range palettes that I love. So now it's kind of time for me to present to you my top palettes. The palettes that, like, let's say my house burned down, I would really like for my insurance to get me all of them back. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. I really like this palette as a basic matte eyeshadow palette. I think it's really important to have my neutral mattes and my colorful mattes, and so my favorite palette for colorful mattes is the Beauty Bay Bright Matte palette. Everything is matte in this palette, and that's something I think is so important. And you have really great shades with really good depth, and I've used this palette quite a bit already. My next favorite colorful mattes is the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. If you guys know, this is literally my favorite pastel palette. I sold my Morphe 35i recently because it was just not giving. I would call this my red carpet palette. This is the Jackie Aina X Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is her palette. This is not sold anymore. I cannot get rid of this. I will never get rid of this. This is definitely my like red carpet palette if I ever were to go to one. This is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell. I think Lunar Beauty Moonspell does a great job at being a more like toned down but colorful palette, and I really like this. This is definitely a palette I would travel with. Be Perfect Love Tahiti, I think I can confidently say is my favorite colorful palette that I own. I've used this once, and I know you're probably like, hey Coralie, nah. But I recently bought it, so that's why. But it's at the top for me. Antidote palette. This is a wonderful palette. This is a wonderful palette. I'll be keeping it. I'll be cherishing it. And finally, the Lorac Pro, the artistry book right here. I really like this one. The variety of shades you get is amazing. And also, little content creator tip, every time I have this palette in a thumbnail of a reel, that reel gets a ton of views. So, I mean, I have to be grateful for that too, shit. This is it, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie, my throat hurts so bad. Like literally my throat hurts. I've spoken way too much today. I'm getting rid of 6 palettes, which means there's only what, 24, 23? It's improvement, you know? Except for today, I'm literally not wearing any eyeshadow. I always wear eyeshadow. Like eyeshadow is something that I consistently wear every time I do my makeup. Most of the time, unless I'm wearing graphic liner, I will usually have eyeshadow. So I just want you to know that these eyeshadows are not necessarily going to waste. Some of these, I'm gonna be honest, are collector's items, and I'm actually gonna start putting them on display because they are my collector's items. They are the things that I first bought when I got into makeup, and there are things that I don't necessarily plan on using. And some of the palettes, like for example, this palette, I do really like it. I just haven't used it in such a long time, and I don't plan on using it anytime soon. And I think I have other palettes that have shades just similar and I can like mix and match, you know what I mean? This is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also comment in the comment section down below, what's your favorite palette? What's your least favorite palette that you've purchased? Which ones do you think I should have gotten rid of? You can get shady, I don't mind. We can get shady in here. But yeah, if you guys like me, my personality, or the content I put right up on YouTube, then feel totally free to subscribe to this channel. We do a lot of makeup and student lifestyle content. And honestly, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. We will be able to answer them. We being me. Granted, I don't have a team. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too much, even though for me it was. And I will see you in my